Hello everyone, this is another sketchbook tour. This one I think was pretty helpful when it came to learning facial anatomy and just getting generally decent sketches overall. And yeah, so I started this sketchbook in March, I believe. Yeah, March 18th, and I ended on the 29th of September. So here's page number 1. I started off with a Greek mythology theme, or just mythology in general. So you'll kind of see that, as well as my favorite, medieval fantasy is pretty common in here, as you can see with the knights scattered about. I got my hands on one of these. It's a brush pen from Tombow, and I use that a lot here. And this one came out really cool. It's like an Aztec skeleton, and this was a silhouette for one of my paintings that I did. So overall it was a decent start here. Got Captain Rex here. And you'll see with the portraits, like I said, I thought they turned out pretty well. This was the first sketchbook where I overly focused on portraits. This here was Easter. And I feel like this sketchbook took a while to actually complete. But overall, I think it was one of the most important sketchbooks I've done to date. It helped me learn not to rush everything so much. Here's just some doodles again. Just practicing. Mr. Peabody up in the top. This one I turned into a digital illustration, though it's not entirely my work. I did use a reference from someone else's dragon. And this is the first iteration of my fantasy map. I still haven't come up with a title for the book, but there's another map that pops up later, and we'll see that in a little bit. It was really fun to finally start this project that I'd been putting off for a while. This one came out pretty cool. It's just marker, micron, and I believe the white highlighting pen that I use. Again, there are so many faces in this sketchbook that I don't know where most of them came from. This is just the random stuff that pops up every now and again. I like to include some fun stuff. I need to use yellow more. I like these. Yellow isn't used enough, I feel like, in art. This is a sketch for a miniature I did, and I'll put a picture of that here in a little bit, if I can find it. There's Ernesto de la Cruz and Hades from Hercules. And I did a little spread of Spider-Man 2099. There's Kronk and Eminem. I did this one at work when I was bored. I don't really know what it is, but it kind of reminds me of Hela from, not God of War, from Thor Ragnarok. And here's that second map for my fantasy novel. I think it turned out a lot better, though there's some things I'll still change, especially around here. That's where I'm at in the book right now. The characters are in here, and they're supposed to end up here. Though it's pretty far, and I don't know, I feel like it'll work better for the plot when I change that. Got some more just random doodles. This was for the tavern in my book. And here is Shalon and Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive. More faces, and this is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be Achilles, but it doesn't really look like him, so we can skim past that. I was reading the Odyssey and the Iliad at the time. Just some more doodles. Another doodle from work. I did this one just before Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Pretty proud of the T-Rex, actually. The coloring kind of skewed it a little, but I think it came out okay. This sketch was pretty good. These are book doodles. I like this little interpretation. It's like a long-tailed fox, so its body's kind of like a snake. And this is like a weird perspective for another book. Another Deadpool and Wolverine doodle. The colors on this one are really nice. Like her. Again, you can see a lot. If you've seen my other tours, this is pretty packed from page to page. Here's Burger King. Like, again, just the boring, dull sketches, which I have so many of, I think they turned out a lot better here. There's Alan and Shalon. And that's my dog, dressed up. Like this, I couldn't do this 4 months ago. It's not perfect, but I think it turned out pretty nice, all things considered. We have like Zeus. This is when school started up again, so I was pretty dang bored. I still am. Got a lot of faces in here. But I would just sketch during class. And I have less time to do it now, but I wish I could sketch this much still. Got Jack Sparrow there. This is, again, for one of my books. Same book, actually. Tried getting a little blockier with my sketching, and I think it turned out alright. More faces. I want to say around this point is where I start doing more stuff from my imagination. But most of these here are sketches still. There's Zuko. I watched Avatar over the summer. It's really good. I'd recommend it. More doodles and sketches and stuff. This is the beginnings of my Stormlight Archive painting, which I'll put a picture of. I did some gouache here. I've got to use a lot more gouache in this sketchbook. It was nice to finally do that. Some more doodles. This is solely from my head. This is loosely from my head. These were from my head. The entire Stormlight painting was, which I was pretty proud of. I think the colors turned out the best, but the poses and the anatomy are a little off. There's Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. I like these purple spreads. They turned out pretty cool. They give off a sketchy, like a sketchbook should be, but, you know. By this point, I was pretty fed up with school, though that wasn't really hard to get to, you know. This is for a painting I still haven't done just yet. I need to get around to starting. This is for the Stormlight picture as well, and I got some really weird reference pictures. You'll see with this one, and then some that pop up later as well. But hey, I'm not complaining. I really like the fish burglar. Like that sketch. It's really nice. Some more doodles. These I think are no, this one's from my head. There's jeans. I don't know why I got into the Victorian, I think that's the right era style, but very colorful here. Yeah, a lot of just gray sketches because I didn't have time to color most of the days. This would be really cool getting back to this sketch. Oh, and it looks like I started Evangelion around this time. Is it somewhere back here? No. Yeah, there's Shinji. And then this is another one of the goofy pictures. It's him holding a burger at gunpoint. Here's some color theory notes. Don't see many notes in here, but I like to take them from time to time. Some cooler poses too. Again, I just like how varied stuff is in the sketchbook. More Evangelion. This one came out pretty good in the sketch, but the coloring I just kind of gave up. Cool poses. There's Miguel O'Hara again. And we've got some really random stuff going on here. This one came out pretty good, especially in the sketch phase. Coloring I still have to work on. I think that's what I'll do in my next sketchbook. Some pretty random stuff on here. This is for an art piece I'm doing. I like the blocking in I did here. Seems pretty cool. Again, with the blocky sketch here, I like how the dog came out. Getting towards the end here. This one, it was nice. Nice to try out watercolor again. I feel like it's been a while since I've touched it. And here's my final spread for this sketchbook. Bunch of cats. Which I'm not even a cat person. I just got a lot in my feed, so I was like, cool. And here are the quotes if you'd like to pause to read. And with that, that's the sketchbook, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.